How you doing? Welcome back to InYaChest. I'm Steve. Esteban in Spanish. Birth name Steven. This is Horse, Horatio, Andrew,
aka the D-A-double-P-A.
Hydraulics, Dapper Dan,
Don Dada, D-A-double-P-A.
Question for you.
The ex young best friend.
I was gonna say that if you guys have a hard time sending your questions to Gmail, feel free to post them on our wall on Facebook too. I can spot them from there and take them for you and put it on InYaChest video. Anyway, the question is, I guess when you're finding a mate, should you find a mate that's I guess possibly your best friend? Andrew?
That's a weird ass question. Which I kind of understand the angle, because you really don't look for your best friend. It just sort of kind of happen. Okay, so it's a big plus if the person that's your mate is your best friend, because when you have a best friend, you go out your way to protect your best friend's feelings. I mean, a real best friend. You protect their feelings. You actually really care about what they say and what they think. You know what I'm saying? So we treat that in the same thing, same essence that somebody that you with. That relationship is such a strong bond. Hopefully, the person that you with also feels the same exact way about you, as far as you confiding as being a best friend too. Which, if that happens, man, that's like the best thing ever, because you go out your way not to hurt your best friend. But sometimes when you're with your mate, you know, you kind of like, step out of boundaries. When you have a best friend, you really like go out your way, because that's why our friendship lasts forever. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, as a best friend, you really just go out your way to make sure that they good. You know what I mean? But with your mate, you kind of like, you really might not give 100% all the time, because it's like, it's a relationship. There's a lot more things going on in a relationship than just a friendship, than a best friendship. You know what I mean? Your best friend is like an extension of you. Which your mate should be an extension of you also, but it's just a completely different thing. And we have both of them together, that's like, fuck, man. You guys like untouchables. When you guys are together, it's like you don't see nobody around.
You know, I've seen cases where the friend, they confine their mate as their best friend, and they end up like cutting off society. Like I've seen when they don't even deal with their regular friends, they're isolated because they're so consumed.
That's not best friends though.
Huh?
That's not best friends. They might say they want to be best friends.
We can't judge that with what but I'm saying, if they calling it a best friend, you know, if they calling this my best friend, I'm saying, but we can't say that. I'm saying, although if they physically say that they're out there, yeah, this is my lover and my best friend, and I've seen when they isolate themselves away from society, and if things go bad between them, they have nobody back to fall back on.
They're not best friends. They say verbally they're best friends. They're not best friends, dog. They feel like they're best friends because they're so close in the relationship. It's like, I can confide in them about anything. But they're not necessarily confiding them about anything. When you have a best friend, it's like a total 100% confinement. I'm talking about like real best friends. They might say, but they're not really, because you go out your way to like, okay, like say, okay, me and you best friends, or like say you're female, I'm a male, we're together, and we ain't best friends. And you got other outside friends, right? Okay? And then it's like you try to like, I don't like the way you talk, I don't like when you talk to them, or I don't like you hang with them no more. You're not really being a best friend now, you're being a mate at that point.
Well, that's what we're talking about. They're asking about.
They're not best friends.
No, but that's what the question is saying. That when you're having a mate, should your mate be your best friend? Yes,
that'll be excellent. That's great, because you having 2 in 1. You having 2 in 1. But it also at the same time, it can get kind of like messy. I see where you're actually coming from, because
you take your best friend, and you try to make something work. It crumbles. You don't have that best friend anymore. Now you just have the other friends.
The dynamics change when the relationship part comes in, because now they might have a friends that you might not agree with. You know what I'm saying? And that's when the relationship part comes in. But as far as you guys are really best friends, which is, I understand where you're coming from, because it very rarely happens. Because if you guys are best friends, you shouldn't let anything outside make you like, you know what I'm saying, like deter with the relationship part. But it does happen. You know what I'm saying? I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, the initial question is that, should you have a best friend as your mate? Yeah, but I understand where you're coming from, where the outside parts does interfere with the relationship part, but not the friendship part. But it's initially going to fuck up the friendship part now, because now y'all got problems in the thing.
I think it's a big gamble.
I understand. I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from.
Huge gamble.
which is a good point. I see exactly where you're coming from, but I feel you should. But I see exactly where you're coming from because it does change the dynamics when something outside going on fucks with the relationship part and changes the dynamics with the whole fucking situation. I do see where you're coming from. I do see where you're coming from.
You're gonna make your best friend. You're gonna put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Shit goes flop terrible.
I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from.
But now the friendship's unsalvageable because you crossed that line. You have intercourse together. The feelings grown. And
it's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
No,
I still agree with it, but I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, so I understand you say go for it, and I'm not against it, but I do feel like it's a gamble. I kind of be uncomfortable going that way. I have to consider all those negatives that can have result if it doesn't work out. And yeah, plus it's nice to have a mate. I believe to have a mate that you love with is your soulmate and have a best friend. I agree with that, but Andrew says it's best to have the best of both worlds. If you luck out, if you luck out and it doesn't work, it's heaven.
Yeah, if it do luck out and it works, it's like. But if it don't work out, that shit really fucking hurt because you done lost both sides now. So you're right. I do understand where you're coming from. But if it does work, it's like, you know what I mean? So it's 50-50. I understand where you're coming from. I see the angle you're coming from.
Okay, this is a real simple topic, so I guess we can wrap this up. So Andrew says, yeah, go for it. I say reevaluate what you're going to do because you're losing 2 for 1 happy hour, and you just can't go back to mending the pain after you open up a can of worms. So yeah, so there we go. Horace says go for it. I think you should. I think you should bite the bullet on this one and just reconsider. All right, we're signing out. I'm Steve with InYaChest, and this is Horace.
To the canines.
Okay now.